because you thought, what did you think about yourself?
That I wasn't good enough, that I didn't need it, and I escaped into watching Netflix, watching TV.
If people intrinsically don't think that they're enough, nobody and no one can tell them that they are enough, and nothing will let them think. Okay, hi Tanja. So nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So we had a session with Tanja, and today I would like to discuss this session and to see how you were feeling during the session, after the session, and of course before the session, because this is for people who don't know what to expect from such a session, and how do people feel? Is it worth the money? Is it worth the time? Is it worth the trying? And is it worth the pain? Because some people are actually afraid of the pain, which can come up during the session. And some other people actually think this is a walk in the park where you just relax and just talk about something, and then the problem magically disappears. So let's speak about that. And what brought you to me? How did you find me? And what was the topic you came to me with?
Okay, well, actually, what I was working, well, not working on, but suffering of was going to bed too late, not getting enough sleep. There's this expression which is fairly new, as I think it is. It's called sleep procrastination, or revenge sleep or bedtime procrastination, which means that mostly stressed out people, they have a full day, and in the evening they think they want to have some me time, and instead of going to bed at a fairly early time, they steal the time for me time from their sleep. Right. Which is, of course, not very healthy for many years. And it got even worse during the pandemic. So often I only slept about 2, 3, 4 hours a night, and that for many years. So with a couple of good nights on the weekends when I was just so exhausted that I couldn't stay awake anymore. But I always kept falling back into that silly habit.
Right.
Well, I'm a single mum, and working mum, so of course my days are chock-a-block full. So it is not easy to find me time during the day, but I didn't make enough effort to actually plan my day well enough, and to take the time to do something sensible, like going for a walk, doing some sports. I actually tried many things to get rid of that habit. I tried it with willpower, and it happened it worked for a couple of days, but then I just fell into the bad habit again, because it felt too good for me to sit on the couch, watch TV, enjoy the quiet time. I mean, the days were busy, inside, outside, with a child. And I really loved that time in the evening, that quiet time for me, time in front of TV or mobile, to be, to escape into a different world,
That's right. As what you're saying sounds so similar to any type of addiction. It is a bad habit.
Yes.
You absolutely understand that it's bad for you, but you can't do anything about it. And you can try with willpower, and it will only work for so long.
Yes,
and then you fall back into the habit, because the habit is always stronger than the willpower.
Yes, absolutely. And the pleasure you get out of it in that moment is much stronger than the willpower, unfortunately. Knowing that any type of just coaching wouldn't really help me, because it doesn't address me where I need.
Is that what you tried before, the coaching?
Yeah. Yes, I tried coaching before. It was good. It helped a bit, but it didn't do any lasting change. I slipped back into going back to bed really late and sleep really late.
If it's based on behavioral therapy, you would need to create a new habit. You would need to create an understanding of what's going on in your mind, and find out the beliefs. You can do that with coaching too. You can find out the subconscious beliefs and see what you want to believe instead, and then work on that and create a new habit. However, with RTT, with work with your unconscious mind, you actually get to the root of why do you actually have those beliefs in the first place, right? So yeah, and that's what we did. So let's see. If I look this way, I'm looking at the questions that we have prepared. So what were your thoughts of hypnosis before you decided to work with me?
Well, I have to be honest, I already had hypnosis or hypnotherapy.
But on another topic.
So on other topics. So I knew about the power of hypnosis and hypnotherapy. But with other hypnotherapists, I didn't really have that success that I actually was hoping for. So I guess there are good hypnotherapists and there are excellent hypnotherapists. And Eric definitely is an excellent one, because what I experienced with him was mind-blowing.
Thank you very much, Tanja.
Fantastic.
So let's move to that. So how did you experience the session? And let's maybe split it into two questions. How did you expect it to be, and what did you actually experience? That's big for somebody who never tried RTT before and doesn't actually know what to expect from it.
Okay. Hypnosis. It's really important to know that hypnosis is something really, really natural. You do it every day. When you're daydreaming, for instance, that's hypnosis. So never be afraid of hypnosis. It's something good. It's something relaxing. You feel good.
That's very
you
important.
never lose control. Actually, at any moment in the hypnosis, you can always open your eyes and you fall back again. So no one can make you do things you don't want to do.
Every hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So if somebody comes to me wanting to be hypnotized or get hypnotized, it's actually me helping you to hypnotize yourself. So there's no bad magic involved, and I'm not somebody who has the power over your mind. It's actually you. You are always in power and in control. So how was the session?
That's it. Yeah. Whatever you see. The session was really nice, really good, really intense, because you do get to the core issue and to the root of the problem. Of course, when you dig into those deep-rooted feelings, emotions, thoughts, it can be emotionally straining, yes, like any other psychological way of treatment can be. But sometimes it needs to be intense to work and to heal, so you can heal. And Eric did a fantastic job guiding the way for me. He came up with the right questions at the right time. He made me feel really, really relaxed and at ease with him. And it was really easy with him to open up, because he's a very empathetic person. You really feel comfortable with him straight away. So that was really important for me. And he helped me all the way through, and that was a fantastic experience.
Would you like to share anything of any of your insights which you gained during the session? Was it just relaxing, or you also said that it was sad or strenuous?
Yeah. I did shed some tears.
We do go to scenes, right? I'm guiding you towards scenes. Like for those people who don't actually know how the session works, we actually go into a relaxed state, and then I guide you to some scenes from your past, right? From your childhood or whatever comes up. And interestingly, right away, you were crying. Like, it wasn't actually any scene, but you were crying. Would you like to share any of those feelings or what you've experienced with the audience?
Well, as far as I remember, the first scene was about not feeling one with myself or at ease with myself. The second and third, as far as I remember, after hypnosis, I'm not really good at remembering the scenes. But as far as I remember, I often felt different from others when I was a child, and I realized that back then I felt different because I thought I wasn't good enough, but actually I found out that I'm open to the world. I have a different kind of approach to think about things, to see the world, to feel about things, which is a good thing, a positive thing. And I found out that I didn't want to be like the others back then, which were in my class, in my school class, because they had a certain type of, how to explain, a certain way of thinking, which I'm not comfortable with, and I still don't want to think like them. But I only realized that during hypnosis, during the session, and that was really, really freeing for me, because up to then I always felt a bit different in a negative way, and I didn't know why, but now I know why, and it's because of a positive reason, which is fantastic. And it helps me distinguish between people I want to spend time with and the ones I don't. And I feel fine with it. And that was different before, because it was like it was going towards like I wanted to be everyone's darling, you know. And I don't want to be that anymore. I don't need to be that anymore. And that's really, really fantastic.
What we usually try to when we're children, but actually also as adults, we want to belong. We want to be part of something bigger. We want to be part of the group, part of the new class, and be loved and accepted and appreciated by the others. And when we find out that for some reason we are kind of not part of that group, we immediately find it negative. We only see the negative side of it. And that's exactly what was going on for you. And we found out that in the session. And I found it amazing how well you did the job of becoming the adult. We didn't call it that way, but the loving parent of your own inner child. Right? You could explain to your own self, to your own inner child, what are the positive sides of being different, of thinking in a different way. And this way the child heals, right? And of course the
child
and
the adult
problem as well. Usually is that whatever we think as children in a difficult situation, we tend to carry with us through our whole lives. And even if it was appropriate back then, it just isn't anymore, right? And that's exactly what you've realized. And that's exactly what every one of us can realize during such a session. And it's always something different. It's always the same concepts. It's getting love and affection. That's what we want. And we want to belong. We want to be part of the group. We want to belong. And if we feel that it's not the case, we think that's about us and that we are somehow different, somehow not enough, somehow not good enough. We're wrong. And this thought becomes our own, and this thought becomes our belief, our true internal belief, which holds us back in the adult life. So, how would you think, and maybe some of the viewers might be asking themselves, how does that have anything to do with bedtime procrastination or revenge bedtime procrastination?
Well, with the belief not being enough, not being good enough, with a longing to fit in, to be part of groups, friends, whatever. I was constantly trying hard to work hard, to never have a break, to never really do anything or not enough good things just for me, for myself.
And you didn't do that because you thought, what did you think about yourself?
Yeah, that I wasn't good enough, that I didn't need it, that I needed to work towards gaining the affection I was longing for.
That you had to deserve it.
I had to deserve it, yes. And so that led me to pure exhaustion. So often I was actually trying to work and I didn't. I wasn't really productive at all or effective. And then I also was so exhausted that in the evening, I actually needed to go to bed. It would have been really necessary, but something kept me awake. I needed to do something to get rid of that feeling, and I escaped into watching Netflix, watching TV, watching or having my iPhone in my hand.
What do you think
hours.
was that? What was that feeling that you wanted to escape?
The stress. That stress I was constantly experiencing, because non-stop working towards something without a break just is so exhausting and stressful, and I needed to somehow release that stress.
Why do you think couldn't you just go to bed to relax? There was the stress, right? But obviously, if we're stressed and tired, we go to bed, right? There was a thought, there was an unconscious belief which held you awake. What do you think?
I think it was I wasn't really good enough, or it felt like a waste of time, really, to sleep, because I could have done more things during that time towards my goals.
Exactly, and you actually wanted, you never felt you've done enough to deserve belonging, to deserve the feeling that you are good enough, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
that is so important. You know, people, if people intrinsically don't think that they're enough, nobody and no one can tell them that they are enough, and nothing will let them think that they're enough. No work, no money, no lover. It must come from the inside, and it's so exhausting when it doesn't, when we're trying to find it outside of us. And that's what you've been trying to do. You were trying to find it outside in your work, and then when you found that you couldn't, you escaped this world into TV, into Netflix, smartphone, etc., etc. So amazing. So, and now actually, I'm very, very curious to know how your life is after our session. It's not been much time, but how do you feel now still?
Well, it's amazing already, because I feel so much more at ease, and I don't have the longing to stay up really late at night and having to watch
binge watch
Netflix. Yes, it is. Yes. It was. It's subtle, but you do notice the difference, or I do notice the difference. There's no longing to stay awake and find that, or escape, or find that pleasure that I used to get out of binge watching Netflix, TV, whatever. I already go to bed early. I sleep about 7 hours per night, which is fantastic.
7 instead of 3. And you feel good.
And I feel good. Yes. And I feel good about it. Yes, I feel fantastic about it. Yes. And I'm not even finished listening to the audio, to that fantastic audio you made for me. So I'm very curious what it's going to be like after those 3 weeks.
I'll shortly explain for the audience also. After such a session, or during the session, when we've already done the changing of the belief, finding the root cause and talking to the child, becoming the adult for the child, and calming and comforting the child, we are actually on top of that. Or as the end of this work, we create new beliefs, new powerful positive beliefs. And those beliefs are so important for our subconscious mind. Things like I am enough, things like I care for myself, things like I go to bed early at that time. All of these things need to first of all, come into our subconscious mind, not just as wishes, as we do that when we speak consciously, but as intrinsic beliefs. And that is only possible when we work on the subconscious level. For example, that's the way to do it in hypnosis. That's what we did. I spoke all those things. We spoke about them earlier, but then during the session, we came up with really important beliefs or things which are important for your unconscious mind. Consciously, we might not even know those things, what they are, right? We can have wishes. Like, I want to sleep 8 hours. But do you really, truly, internally want that? And if your unconscious mind doesn't want that because it thinks you just don't deserve 8 hours of sleep, it will not let you, right? So willpower doesn't work. That's why willpower doesn't work. That's what I want to say. So basically, when we got rid of the negative beliefs, which did not let you think or trust the wish that you want or deserve the 8 hours of sleep, we then, on top of that, create new powerful beliefs. Like, I'm going to sleep early and I actually deserve that. And it's so important that once did that in the session, it will, for most people, make a big shift. It's also not less important, maybe even much more important, to let the mind learn it by repetition. So our unconscious mind really needs repetition. And you might have realized that with habits. A habit doesn't grow overnight. Any habit doesn't really grow overnight. Some things which actually make you addictive, like some drugs, yes, that happens instantly, right? But good habits, like going to bed early and caring for yourself, will need some time to actually settle in. And especially if there is a habit which is exactly opposite, that opposite habit might be actually somehow sitting in your body, like emotionally somewhere. And even after having done the work, we oftentimes tend to come back to the old habits just because we know how that works, just because we're used to that. So to work against that, to help you to really keep and hold on to the good, positive beliefs which we created during the session, we're creating an RTT, in RTT, we're creating a transformational recording, basically all those positive beliefs. And Tanja got that recording, and it's really important for the brain to memorize and to memorize them and to ingrain those new beliefs. For that, it needs repetition. And there are there have been different studies saying how much repetition we need in order for a habit to be created. There are some people stating, or journals stating, that's 66 days. Some say it's 21 days. It's different. So I say at least 3 weeks, and then it will be different for everybody. And you can tell us later, let me know later. Let's say when the 3 weeks pass, how that goes for you. And if you don't need to think about that anymore, just go to bed early by like automatically, just by yourself.
Automatically or
exactly, like because it's become a new habit. And what would you say to people who are actually putting off fixing their problems and frustration in life?
Don't do it. It's so relieving. It's such a tremendous help you can get and change your life for the better. You're worth it. Do it, and I can't recommend Eric enough to help you do that change. You are worth it. Your life is worth it. Your surrounding, your family is worth it. Because once you change, everyone else around you change as well somehow.
That is true.
A bit like magic, but
true.
It's science, but it feels a bit like magic, and in an absolutely fantastic way. So I can't recommend it enough. Really, it's fantastic.
Actually, this will be the last question. Most people, when they watch such interviews or reviews, testimonials, or adverts about, or explanations about hypnotherapy or hypnosis or any kind of therapy which magically helps, think, well, right, it helped them, but it won't help me. How do you think, or what do you think can help such a person to still go and try and believe that it will help them?
Well, just try some hypnosis or even meditations on YouTube. Just try for yourself. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. just try it, and try to relax. It's actually really, really easy. You can relax, and if I can do it, anyone can do it, because I'm actually one of those head persons. Everything has to be logical, everything has to be science backed. And I used to think, well, others, yeah, but me, no one can manipulate my head. No. But it's everything else but manipulation. It is a bit like reprogramming the software of your mind, but in a very, very positive way. And again, it can't be done in a negative way. No one can force you to do or think or feel in a way you don't want to do or feel. So again, if I can do it, anyone can.
I think in order for this to work, you really have to want to work and be ready for work, be open for work.
Yes, definitely. If I don't think it would work if someone sent someone else, hey, go and have it done, if that person doesn't really want that change. If you really want a change in any area of your life, go for it. If you don't want it, if you're not committed 100%, 120% to do whatever is needed, then don't. But if you're committed, if you really want that change, absolutely go for it. You won't regret it.
You'll find out the root cause of the problem, and it will be eliminated just if you let it, if you're ready to do this work. Yeah. Thank you so much, Tanja, for your time and for your trust and for your motivation to do the work. And we'll stay in touch. And for everybody else, you know how to find me. Just write me a message and we will have a free call and see how I can help you. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you too. Bye.